Hello, America. I know.
Oh, the world's on fire. Pakistan's President Musharraf resigned.
Yeah. Russia says they're leaving Georgia. They ain't leaving. Missile launchers have been moved to the south of Georgia. You know, Poland. Hey, we're going to take some of those missiles on ourselves. I mean, it's crazy. But it's Monday. So I'm not going to focus on the world ending. I thought I'd focus on something a little closer to home here. Starring our familiar old friend, hypocrisy. Let me tell you a story about the Green Movement. They say that they want easy breezy solutions of wind power. Wouldn't that be great if we could just get all of our power from wind? Yeah, they love it. They just don't like any of the transmission lines. That's what they have a problem with now. Nancy Pelosi is finally saying she's for more offshore drilling. Great. But she also wants to roll back the tax breaks for oil companies on a long list of things that are never going to get done. So here's the point tonight. Guys, you can't have it both ways, okay? Nothing ever is going to get done if the politicians and the lobbyists keep saying one thing and doing another. And here's how I got there. It turns out the best place for a wind farm is out in the middle of nowhere. Who would have thunk it? To get energy that, you know, these windmills are making, they've got to get it to you using those big, huge transmission lines, you know, that nobody wants to live under. Oh my gosh, I'll have radiation poison, right? If you're a tree hugger, you don't want these things. You're protesting right now, these transmission lines, because they're going to cut through some of our precious forests. It's not just one place. It's all over the country that they're protesting now. They might endanger, in Oregon, the precious sage grouse. I can't make this stuff up. In Washington, House Speaker Pelosi says that she has now expanded offshore drilling as part of her new energy proposal. Well, that's great. Yeah, would be if the same plan didn't list like 100 other things that are never going to get passed, including the tax breaks being taken away for the oil companies who have to invest the millions to do the drilling. Here's the point tonight, America. Here's what you need to know. In the grown-up world, real solutions do require compromise. Alternative energy is of no use if we can't get it from the desert to our house. If you want to have more offshore drilling, it's an empty gesture if you make it so oil companies who can do it can't afford to. Remember, I know you right now, oh, can't afford, you know how much money to make? Forget about the dollar amount of the oil company profits and look instead at their profit margin. It's a huge difference. It's about 7.6%. That is less than most companies, less than casinos, steel, agricultural chemicals, and way less than Google. Microsoft, I think, is around 20-25% as well, and hedge funds are in the 80% range. Examples like these are so absurd, if it wasn't so tragic, it would actually be funny. The stakes are too high. The Greens, the Democrats, all these clowns in Washington have got to stop screwing around and remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch, especially in Washington. Kevin Kerr is an analyst and editor for Global Commodities Act, and Max Schultz is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute Center for Energy Policy and the Environment. Kevin, let me start in Oregon and Indiana and California. All kinds of protests now because the precious forests are going to be wrecked by transmission lines from solar panels, right?
Yeah, you know, Glenn, the bottom line, in Indiana, for example, they're trying to get, they'd have to go through just miles of red tape to get the regulatory clearance to even try to build these transmission lines. And then, of course, there'd be the endless lawsuits from different environmental groups and other special interest groups. This could go on forever just to get transmission lines built in Indiana.
Okay, Max, this is why I don't trust anybody in Washington, and nobody does. When Nancy Pelosi says, you know what, I've had a change of heart, we should drill. I don't believe that she actually wants to drill. She's loaded this thing up in a way that she knows this will never pass. She's making a campaign commercial, yes or no?
Oh, I think so. I mean, this proposal from Speaker Pelosi is a smokescreen. She said a couple weeks ago that she thinks offshore drilling is a hoax. She said that she opposes it because she wants to save the planet. And what she's offering now is she's bowing to the political reality. She's trying to give a little bit of cover to fellow Democrats who are running this fall,
right,
by offering a proposal that she says is offshore drilling, but it's not. I mean, just on the drilling aspects of the proposal. It hardly goes far enough. It doesn't open up offshore drilling in parts of the Gulf of Mexico, off the coast of California, places where we need to do it. And then she loads up a bill with all sorts of things like a renewable portfolio standard and taking away the supposed tax cuts for the big oil companies and a host of other things that will make this bill unpalatable.
Okay.
And I think Congress would be wise to reject it.
Okay, wait, real quick on the tax cuts. These are the same things, Max, that all companies get, right? All companies get these tax cuts.
Sure, the manufacturing tax deduction is something which is open to every manufacturing industry in the United States, with, I believe, the one exception is the pornography industry. And I mean, this tells you a little bit about the mindset of folks like Speaker Pelosi, that they lump the oil companies in with pornographers.
All right, and Max, just to show the hypocrisy of these people, you have Ed Rendell in Pennsylvania. And he was a big proponent. We've got to have wind energy. We've got to go in wind energy. But now that they have the wind energy that they're trying to do, now he's trying to repeal the law that would make the transmission lines being built easier. He's trying to take that out and repeal that law.
It really is amazing. I mean, I think that the environmentalists and the Democratic Party, which is answers to the environmental lobby, has to realize that if you really want your precious windmills and you want your solar panels and you want to get that energy to the marketplace, you're going to need transmission lines, and they're going to have to budge on that.
Okay, Kevin, strategic oil reserve. This is also in there. This drives me crazy. What part of strategic in the strategic oil reserve do the Democrats not seem to understand?
Yeah, clearly they do not understand what the purpose of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is, what it was created for. This is not a emergency situation. We need to, help bring down prices temporarily. We need a long-term solution. And clearly they're just trying to appease voters, say, look, we can fix this quickly. There is no quick fix here. And as you said at the top of the show, we all are going to need to make sacrifices, and quick fixes just aren't going to do it.
Do either of you guys think that we actually have a way to move forward? I mean, either party gets in. Is anyone going to move forward on this?
Well, I hope so. We'll see what happens in November at the polls. I think that the public really wants to open up things like the OCS and ANWR, and we'll see if Congress acts.
I think the Democrats are underestimating the average American's understanding of the situation. They're not buying into the idea that you can have clean, safe energy that's not going to be in your backyard. We're all going to have to make sacrifices. And I think as the voters go to the polls, I agree, they will make themselves heard.
You know, I tell you, I'm driving one of these GM hydrogen cars, and I was talking to a guy from GM. It's something that's supposed to come out in 2013, and I said to him, you are going to, they're going to yell at you for killing fish because you get the hydrogen from the water. Look out, it's coming. Guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
now,
man.
John McCain and Barack Obama, they hit the stage over the weekend at Rick Warren's megachurch to make their pitch to evangelicals. I have to tell you,